producer at EA for SimCity Societies. We've got the game running over here, and we're pretty excited to give you a quick demo of it. So here's what the game looks like. It's the 5th version of the series. We're pretty excited about it. You can see that it looks different, and you're going to see that it plays different from previous SimCities. We've tried to really innovate with this game and give you guys a lot of new gameplay to get your sink your teeth into. And we've also worked hard to make sure that this game is really easy to pick up and start playing, and yet still has enough depth so that there's a challenge to master it once you get going. So if you look over here, this is a little wealthy enclave that I've made in the city. And back over here, I've got a little section of residential neighborhood that's got homes. I've done my layout so that near the homes, in the back here, I've got a section of the workplaces. And then over here, I've got the venues where the wealthy people go shopping. This idea of homes, workplaces, and venues, this is the heart of the game. Those are the 3 building blocks of the game. So once you understand homes, workplaces, and venues, that's all you really need to know to get going. You build homes when you want more people. You build workplaces when you want more money. You build venues when you want more happiness. You need your people to be happy, because if they're not happy, they don't go to work. If they don't go to work, they don't make money. If they don't make money, you can't build more buildings. Okay. We'll show you how easy it is to put down new buildings in the game. We're not doing zoning. You're selecting exactly which building you want and putting it exactly where you want it to be. So here we're going to put down a, whatever we put down. Okay, we're going to put down a little antique shop, put it down exactly where we want, rotate it the way we want it to do, put it down. Homes, workplaces, and venues, you put them all down the same way, set it up exactly the way you want, but you want to lay them out in a sensible manner, because your Sims wake up in the morning in their homes, then they go to work, and then they leave work and they go to their venues. And if they can't get there efficiently because you've made a good layout, everything's going to get slowed down and the city won't work very well. Now I'm going to talk about the right-hand side of the interface over here. What we have over there are the resources that every building in the game either produces or consumes. They're called societal energies. This is why we call the game SimCity Societies, because by deciding which kind of energies you're going to focus on, you'll end up with a very different kind of city. I'm going to walk through what each one of those societal energies are, starting over on the right. You've got knowledge, obedience, devotion, creativity, wealth, and industry. Now, this little area that we've been showing you so far is an area where all the buildings produce or consume wealth. If I drive over across the river, you'll see that we've made an area where all the buildings use knowledge. Now, this is a kind of strange city that I've made just to show you guys the game. What's interesting about SimCity Societies is that unlike other city builders, you don't always need to be maximizing all of your resources. So you don't need to have all 6 of the societal energies going all the time. You could decide to make an entire city which was all about knowledge, or another city which was all about wealth. You could make a city that's just about obedience, where you don't care about your people's happiness and you're an authoritarian ruler. Or you could make a combination city, some of which makes sense and some of which are pretty creative and funky, like obedience and creativity. Let's look down and dive a little bit deeper and look at some of the more strategic elements of the gameplay. If we cruise over to this part of town, this is where I was showing off some of the buildings that produce or consume industry. Now, if you don't want to really think that hard, all you really need to know to play the game is that there's homes, workplaces, and venues, and that there's the 6 societal energies that you're producing or consuming. But when you want to get right into it, you'll see that every single building has its own unique attributes, and some of them have direct actions that you can click on, so there's always something for you to do. Here I've got this little slummy part of town. I've got slum apartments and tenements, and I see that those are going to make my Sims sick and have a greater fire hazard. So I'll want to plan ahead and put a fire station nearby. Now, when I look at where these people are going to work, I've put in an atomic missile site. I was happy to put that game in because I knew I was going to be building government buildings, and the atomic missile site gives me a discount on government buildings. When you start playing the game, you see there are a lot of different buildings that you can make, but you're really only seeing about 1/3 of the buildings in the game. There's over 400 different buildings and decorations you can put down. As you play the game and make different choices, more buildings become available to you, and you can unlock them. So if we look here, I have a steel mill. Once my city is industrial enough, I have the unionized steel factory becomes available to me. That becomes a goal for me to reach for, and then I can upgrade my existing steel mills to become these bigger, more productive factories. If I look over here, this is the venue section of my industry neighborhood. I see that I have a dive bar. The dive bar gives people a big happiness boost, but it also makes them sick and injured, and especially it makes them drunk. And when they're drunk, they're not going to work. When they're not going to work, they're not making money for me. A dive bar also has a chance of spawning one or other kind of criminal. And the criminals will rob people, it'll take away their deluxe goods, it'll slow down their day. On the other hand, I can make money off the criminals too. I've got a corrupt police station, and I'm going to make money off the criminal activity. Let's cruise on over, I'll show you another part of town. I always like playing the game like Big Brother. These are all buildings which produce or consume obedience. I've got a conditioning theater. When I'm over here, I don't care whether or not my Sims are happy. I just care whether they're content enough to go to work. So I build this theater. When they go in there, they're not in the mood to go to work, but when they come out, miraculously, they're just content enough that they can go to work. And let's see, you can see over here they've got things like a palace of deputies, palace of justice, propaganda ministry. You can get into a whole Big Brother kind of city. One of the things that's cool in this game is that you don't have to be a nice, popular mayor running a happy town. You can actually decide to be Big Brother and have an Orwellian place where everybody's pretty miserable, but they're all going to work and making you money. You could have a hippie commune and have a really green city and all very peaceful and creative and knowledge-oriented, or a spiritual community. There's a huge range of creative opportunities in the game. You can approach it in lots of different ways. It's very flexible, it's very accessible, but there's a lot of depth that you can unfold if you want to get into it. I think you guys are going to really enjoy playing it. It's coming out for the holidays. Thanks.